Best of Most Country, B100. We've learned so much from our local historian, Matt Emery. This has been so fun to dive deep into the place that we call home with so many different places. You can catch up in his podcast, Round the Bend Now and Then. New features you can find wherever you find your podcast of the best of the B100 Morning Show.
As you guys have known by now, with me coming in here week after week, there's a story behind everything. And sometimes there's several stories. Take the intersection of Michigan and Wayne Street in downtown South Bend. That intersection has seen some things. And so currently, CJ's Pub is on the corner there. The new library renovation is catty corner to there. Everything's connected, I'm telling you. In May of 1924, the Ku Klux Klan came to South Bend planning a 3-day rally, a picnic, and a parade. At the time, the Klan was, unfortunately, they were enormously powerful in Indiana. They promoted hatred toward African Americans, immigrants, Jewish, and Catholics. And South Bend, with its large Catholic population and its connection to Notre Dame, became a very intentional target. The St. Joe County Klan maintained its headquarters in a building at Michigan and Wayne Street. So where CJ's Pub is today, not that same building, but there was a 3-story building there that the top floor the Klan used for just a little bit in the early 20s as their headquarters.
Wow.
Whoa.
Notre Dame students saw that in that 3rd floor window, the Klan had a cross made of red light bulbs exposed. So as soon as the students found out about that, they were not about to ignore it. So they hopped on the streetcar, whatever they took down to get downtown. Hundreds came rushing downtown. They tore the robes and hoods off the Klan members, chased them through the streets, surrounded the headquarters at Michigan and Wayne, and conveniently there was a grocery store on the bottom story there. Conveniently, the owner had potatoes.
That is so funny.
And you know what those kids did with those potatoes? They whipped them at that cross with the light bulbs, and they busted everyone out.
Wow.
A bunch of Irish Catholics throwing potatoes at the Ku Klux Klan.
Yep. And the story gets a lot deeper, and it's a whole weekend of events. And the book, Todd Tucker, Notre Dame versus the Klan, is excellent. And so that just kind of touches up on it there. But all that happened at that one intersection, but that's not it. 10 years later, the same intersection again became the scene of national history. Just before noon on June 30th, 1934, John Dillinger and his gang stormed into the Merchants National Bank near Michigan and Wayne. Dillinger was already one of the most recognizable criminals in America. People inside the bank knew him instantly from the newspapers. He reportedly got $28,000 in less than 2 minutes. And if you do the math, that's $700,000 today.
Ooh.
Then outside, it got kind of tragic. Outside, Babyface Nelson reportedly stood at Michigan and Wayne holding a machine gun while the others completed the robbery. South Bend police officer Howard Wagner was shot and killed. 6 civilians were wounded, and Dillinger's gang were grabbing bank employees and customers and using them as human shields. So just like in the movies, you know, like, come here, kid, and just dragging them across the street and using them as human shields. And this turned out to be Dillinger's final bank robbery. 3 weeks later, July 22nd, 1934, federal agents shot and killed him outside the Chicago's Biograph Theater.
Wow.
So Dillinger's last robbery was right there in the corner of Michigan and Wayne Street. The stories of Michigan and Wayne don't end there. Another building at the intersection contained the law office and eventually the living quarters of John W. Talbot. And that's the building we're talking about. It's called the Platt Building. It was then back in 1930-something, and it's still there. Now, Talbot, this dude may be one of the shadiest, scandalous scoundrels in South Bend history. South Bend resident Greta Fisher, she tells Talbot's story in her excellent book, So Much Bad in the Best of Us. He was an attorney. This dude was accused of intimidating witnesses, manipulating trials, accepting stolen goods and property as payment. He used his political influence to escape consequences. I mean, this dude's life was nothing but one giant corruption. I mean, that's what the dude was. He was a fraud. He had a sham hospital. I mean, the dude, it was bad. But anyway, by the end of his life, his money and his influence were gone, and he was living inside of his cluttered office in the Platt Building right at the northwest corner of Michigan and Wayne, and that building still stands there. This dude's life ended in a crazy fire because in a drunken stupor, he passed out smoking a cigarette and burned himself to death right in that building. Right all at that intersection there. So you have Notre Dame students battling the Klan, Dillinger's final robbery, and then one of South Bend's most shadiest citizens meeting a fiery end inside of his own office.
Wow.
All within steps of the same ordinary downtown intersection.
That is incredible.
Crazy.
Round the Bend Now and Then is a true crime podcast now.
Yeah, right.
So is that why they're called the Fighting Irish? Is that where the origin came from?
I've read here and there that could be some of the origins of it. I don't know. I've never read that it was 100% true. I'm not exactly sure. But I bet it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
So you tell your mom.
They definitely embodied them.
Yes, it did. Yes.
Round the bend now and then. Round the bend now and then.